What's up, guys? This is Silence is Gold, and we're here on 7 Days to Die. So, the last episode we posted was episode 1, right? I've played through day 2, 3, and I was almost all the way through day 4. I got off last night, tried to log back in earlier, and I spent about 45 minutes trying to load into the game. So I wanted you guys to experience a little bit of this with me. And if we have the same problem, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a lot of the common bugs for Xbox and PS4 at the moment. So, here we go. We're going to go to continue game, last try, and start game. So, here we go on the bug reviewals. The first and the most common bug that I've had is the reloading into your world bug, which if this is going to be a consistent thing, you're about to experience this with me. And some of you have probably experienced this already, where you go to continue a game, and when it gets to the building environment text, it just sits there. And I've let it sit there for an exorbitant amount of time, and nothing happens. So I did some research on it, and that seems to be a fairly common problem right here. This is where this happens, by the way. So you'll probably be sitting here staring at this cold environment, which is being constructed for a long time. Really, I'm not going to make this a very long video if this happens the whole time. So let's review here. So I'm on the 7 Days to Die. All of this information I'm giving you is on the 7 Days to Die official website, 7daystoDie.com, under forums. And this is all of the major known bugs. So, here we go. Number 1. We are aware of a bug where if you equip the characters Miguel or Clint with headwear, it copies that item in the inventory, and so you'll have 2 of that item, right? And we've seen this a couple of times, probably in both of the episodes I've uploaded so far. We've seen that, where I've tried to equip something on my head and I end up with an extra item. So, when that happens, it blocks the possibility for you to reload the game. The suggestion that they have for us right now is to use different characters besides Miguel or Clint. In split-screen mode, the second player cannot see airdrops if the first player is more than 100 meters away from the second player. Apparently, there's another bug where the volume of rain can vary at times, and which I guess we have kind of experienced, where it's rained and we hear it, and it's also rained and we don't hear anything. But apparently, there's an opposite end of that spectrum where it rains, and that's all you hear is the rain. They're working on that. Under certain conditions, the title enters an indefinite, unresponsive state after controller is disconnected and you reconnect it. So if your controller shuts off at the title screen, it looks like you can enter an unresponsive state and you'll be stuck at that title screen. We are aware that there is an issue with the plane sound effect for supply drops when supply/airdrops are set to 24 hours. I think this is not for 24 hours because I've had the same problem, and I typically leave mine set to 72 hours. I don't like the 24-hour thing, but you can't hear the plane when it comes through. This says that all supply drops occur at noon in the game. At noon, the player sees the smoke effect and the parachute, but they hear no plane sound effects. They recommend that you make it to where it's markable on the map and it's easier to identify. But, I mean, if you forget, it is sometimes nice to be able to have that plane sound. We are aware of a crash bug that may occur when a player attempts to rejoin a game after previously abandoning an initial quest. If the client abandons their initial quest and quits out of the game, then attempts to rejoin, the player may experience a crash of the game. This bug occurs on PS4 in Survival, Multiplayer, Random Gen, or the Navigaine. I think I'm saying that right. But it occurs on PlayStation 4 in any type of game you can set up. If you abandon a quest, then Oh, sorry, it says initial quest. So if you abandon that initial quest, you'll probably block yourself out of the game. Which, I mean, that initial quest is, I guess it's a little repetitive whenever you've done the game about 5 times already, started it out, but you know, there's worse things to have to do multiple times. Okay, so we are aware that in an online game, the client can force a desync by manipulating blocks in a certain way. This allows the client player to build blocks that the host and entities cannot see or interact with in the game. So, in other words, if you are placing blocks that you can see and then your friends are next to you watching you build this thing, but then they're like, you know, we can't see that, that means the game crash is imminent. It doesn't say anything about a way to fix that. Let's see, what else is there? It appears that there is a pretty massive bug with the split screen aspect of the game, which is kind of a big deal because this game, it's like it's got several main advertising points that they came out with, and one of those is the zombie horde survival crafting part, which is all pretty epic. I mean, it's great. But another one of those is the multiplayer aspect of it, where you can do couch play. You can sit next to, you know, somebody on the couch and play split screen in this game. Well, apparently it locks up a lot if it even lets you into the world with split screen going on. And then another thing is server problems. Those typically, those are a big deal right now. So if you have a server, you're trying to play with people, the first, like, you should make sure that everybody knows you want to avoid Miguel or Clint. You want to avoid abandoning the first quest. Like, under no circumstances should you abandon the first quest, because all of these things are potential blockouts for the game. And once you're blocked, I don't know there's a way back in. So, but yeah, that seems to be the major bugs at the moment. So just make sure you're aware. If you guys have any other bugs that you know of, posting them in the comments below. But really the best thing you guys can do is you can post your bugs on the forums for the 7 Days to Die website. There's somebody that seems to be doing a lot of responding and working on it. Her name is Claire, and she's pretty active on this. So the way it works is there's a spot where it goes support under forums. There's forums, support, then there's the spot where you can post bug reports for consoles. You can also view the list yourself. I think what I'll do is I'll include a link in the text below for you guys to get to that. So so I guess that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. What I'll probably do is I might start up one last world where we kind of abide by these rules, and if it doesn't work out, then that's probably gonna be the last of this game until a big update that comes out that fixes a lot of these problems. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll post another video later.